What up, guys? CP the Tool Addict. Woo! We're gonna come back for part two of my Mac tool truck experience. I don't know how many parts I'm gonna end up doing on this, but try to make these videos around 10 minutes or so, just at a time. So I better get into this right away. So last time we left off where I was in the Mac Tools Training Center and getting ready to leave. Actually, I went through my training classes, my experience, and I talked about meeting the president. I was pretty excited, pretty pumped when I left Mac Tools there. I had a little disappointment at that time, of course. Like I said, some things that I wasn't really all that happy with that I got, and some things that I was happy with. Nonetheless, I was excited. I was ready to go. So when you leave the training center, you're pretty pumped up. They give you a big, they have like a award ceremony for graduation when you leave, and they pump you up. It's what it is. It's a sales pump up. So you get the hype, and I've got a 10 or 12 hour drive back home, and I'm going to make it in one day. So I want to get out of there. I don't really remember how the award ceremony went, to be honest with you. I think we had dinner. We had a nice dinner that day. It was fun. So you check out your hotel, go to your award ceremony, and leave. And I don't think I really remember it. Just a bunch of the employees at Mac, kind of, it is what it is. So I'm leaving. I'm excited, ready to get home, get in the truck, get things going. I've got to ride with the DM for 2 weeks. I'm a little bit nervous about that. So my experience is when I get home, I've got to load the tool truck up, work, and I'm ready to get out on the route. Take my knowledge and my skills that I learned, which is basically the one thing that I took away from that. The things that I took away from going to the Mac Tools Training Center was A, that I wasn't going to do their sales tactics, and B, I learned how to run their operating system and learned how their SKUs, all their part numbers worked, and some things in the catalog and some stuff that I wanted to show some people that I'd never seen before. That's the three big takeaways I took away from that Mac training class. So at this point, I'm ready to get back. Like I said, get the truck fired up. So I go back. We have a truck in a building, and we're got all the inventory just basically throw it on there. I mean, just imagine taking your toolbox out, emptying it on the floor, and now you got to put it all together. I get in there. I think the DM actually come and help, and she was a woman, so I don't remember her name really, but it was quite the experience. I was overwhelmed at this point. Now I've got so many emotions going. Drove back home, couldn't sleep the night before, wanted to get on my truck, get everything going, clean my truck up really good, get everything sorted, organized, putting those things on those hook and loops, guys. Like I said, in your tool truck, and I think every tool dealer in the world is going to probably thank me for this. Every time you pull a tool out of those hook and loops they put them back. I'm telling you, they are a pain, okay? And they spend hours putting that stuff up there. So be courteous to your tool guy and just do it. Do it for them, if nothing else. Imagine somebody coming into your house and grabbing your plates out of your cabinets and putting them on there. What would your wife say? That's all I got to say. So my first experience, I'm going to try to remember the first shop I went to. I want to say it was a Chrysler dealership. I want to say that was the first shop I went into. I went right for the big bad wolf. And what I mean by that is a shop that was a big shop. Walk into the shop, start introducing myself, and it was the first week was exhausting. That first shop that I went to, a lot of people hated me, and they didn't even know me. Now, like I said, I did have friends, and I was excited to get some shops to do some stuff because I was excited to get to those shops where I knew people because it was like a sigh of relief. When you can know somebody in a shop or go to one of your shops where you were working out of, I'll tell you, that's like the best part of your day because you're all the weights lifted off your shoulder. Guys and whatnot. You don't know any of these people, so you can't really razz them or say anything. You don't want to tick them off. And I walked in that shop, and I can't tell. I remember one guy straight up told me, looked at me, he goes, "I ain't buying a damn thing from you. We ain't had a Mac dealer forever. We don't need you here." That's exactly what I got told. And when somebody told you that, you look at them, and you're like, sorry, what did I do to you? And I kind of and I looked at the guy and I said, you'll end up buying something from me. I promise you that. And he goes, and he looked at me, he's like, huh. I was kind of the attitude I gave from him. I was like, trust me. I was like, I'll warranty your stuff. I looked at him and I said, I'm going to warranty your stuff anyways. So I don't care. And I said, eventually you'll buy something. If not, no big deal. And that's what I said. And he just kind of like, looked at me like, whoa, well, this guy didn't take offense to that. He wanted to piss me off, but he didn't. So, got around that shop. I remember other shops. I don't really have any really memorable experiences except for just a lot of guys telling me they hated me. Mac Tools, what the hell are you guys doing here? You ain't better. The worst experience I had was people that owed me money that I had bought. And that's the one thing that guys don't understand about these tool routes. You buy the debt that are on that route. So the deadbeats that were on that route, I bought those debts. Guys, I remember I had a guy that owed me $27, and he says, I'm going to pay you $1 a week for 27 weeks. No joke, because he was just, and he turned out to be that guy. He was just a jerk. There's just people in life that are jerks. That's all that you can do. That's all there is to it. You're never going to get over that. And that guy literally was a pain in my ass for $27. I think it took me 3 months to collect that $27. I mean, why are people like that? Some of you guys are going to be sitting there going, why would somebody do that? Because they're just a-holes. That's all there is to it. I mean, I see it on YouTube all the time. It's just you got bad people in the world, and there's nothing you can do about it. You know, they just want to be jerks. A couple shop owners said, don't come in here. We don't want you here. We're fine. We're happy with our tool guys. You guys haven't been around. Don't come back. Not even joking you. That was a thing for real. So yeah, I got that, and that sucked too. Got some guys that said, oh, we don't buy tools, you know, and they after a while, they called me up and said, hey, how come you don't ever come in here anymore? They were basically playing me to see if I would come in there. A lot of games, fellas. Like I said, that first week was exhausting. The second week, I wanted the DM to be gone because I could tell the uncomfortableness of how guys were, where they're just like, why is she here? We don't want anybody from corporate. Guys don't like corporate people. And maybe it's changed nowadays, but I remember just constant issues. She was coming up, guys wanted toolboxes warranted and stuff like that. She was always dealing with that sometimes, and I'd be talking to guys. But when I got to shops where, like I said, it was a huge release going to shops where I knew people, because and those guys were, you know, they're like, dude, you're a Mac dealer. Sweet. Let's go check out what's on your truck. And, you know, I'd talk, and some people bought stuff. And believe it or not, my first 2 weeks, my DM's like, I have never seen anybody buy some people buy as many tools. I mean, I think the first day on the tool truck, I think I collected $300. And that was like, and a bunch of the Mac guys over around me, like, my first day, I didn't even collect but $10, I think. So, you're not going to collect money, but I made $300. And believe it or not, by the end of the second week, I think I actually collected almost 1,000. But the real time came on my third week when I was out on my own. And that's when I felt like a lot of pressure was off me, and I could start talking to the guys and be like, look, she's gone now. I'll take care of you on warranties. I don't have to follow the program that they want me to go. You know, I was just basically being, you know, I was going along with everything she said. But now that you're here, you got any warranties? Let me know. I'll take care of you. That's the problem with being a tool truck dealer versus corporate. Corporate wants you to do it this way, but it's your business, okay? It's your business, so you want to do it that way. So for the next couple months, my business progressively kept growing, and I had a military base, a lot of diesel shops, which I had never dealt with before. Do you guys know I'm not a huge diesel guy? I don't like working on diesels, but I had those. I had some tractor places, which I really enjoyed those because I love tractors, if you guys don't know that. And within 6 months, we were rocking and rolling. I think we almost had the truck paid off, which was also unheard of. And that first 6 months was the best feeling in life. Getting to know guys, selling tools, seeing people's faces get lit up, and the excitement for coming in and helping people out, warrantying tools that guys have had broken forever. Some guys were super nice. I can't even express that. Some guys were just genuinely nice people. And like, hey, man, we haven't had a Mac dealer for a while, but if you can warranty the stuff, that'd be great. I don't really want to buy anything. And I was like, dude, I'm super happy to help you. I want to get your tools warranted, because if I didn't have a Mac dealer, and I'd went out without tool dealers before. You know, a Snap-on guy wouldn't show up sometimes a month at a time. I didn't look at it as being a big deal. You know, I just figured sometime I'll get it warranted if I have to. I just know it's a warranty. So, nothing really major happened. I sold my first toolbox sales. Let's talk about that, and then we're going to probably end it off of that and do for the next part. But So my first toolbox sales, I had a repo. I had to do a repo. I forgot about that. I should have rewinded that. And I also should have rewind also real quick. I'm going to kind of rewind a little bit. Before I was a Mac dealer, I actually worked for a BMW dealership. I failed to mention that before I started that before. So I went from the Amico to BMW and came back to the Amico. But when I first started too, I also had to go pick up a repo. I'll never forget that. I had a Mac 55-inch toolbox, which would have been an MB. It would have been the part number on it now is a 5525. It's a Tech 1000. So there's a 2-bank toolbox, 25 inches deep, and it was red, kind of beat up. And I had to repo that, and I had to repo it because I bought that with the route. And when I did that, or when they told me I was going to have to buy that, I was like, I don't want this thing. I don't want to. And I think I had to pay $2,500 out of my pocket for that, for a repo toolbox. And the toolbox was only worth $1,500, in my opinion. So I had that toolbox on my truck, and 6 months. I think it took me 6 months, right about 6 months before I sold my first toolbox. I had guys kick tires on it, whatnot. And this was the day at that 6 month mark. People had told me it might take a year, but it was a 6 month mark that changed my way. I walked into this little shop, little towing, guy just did basic lube and whatnot, and he says, I'm looking for a toolbox. What I didn't know is I'll tell you, after I sold the toolbox, I didn't know that the Snap-on guy was trying to sell him a toolbox for like 5 years. So his name was Dan, my first toolbox sales. A little small town outside of Des Moines here. And he said, how much do you want for that toolbox? And I said, I've had it on here for a while, Dan. I said, I don't, he never even bought anything off me. And I said, I'm into it for $2,000. I'd make you a deal for $1,800 if you bought it cash right now, which I think is a good deal. And he said, $1,800? And I said, yep. He said, deal. Let's roll it off. I just went, what? I thought I was never going to sell this toolbox. It wasn't perfect condition. And I said, there's no warranty on it. It's a used toolbox, blah, blah, blah. He said, it looks good enough for me. And I thought, holy cow. I didn't know that was going to send ripples into the into my route, that one toolbox. So we rolled the toolbox out, and probably about 2 weeks later, I walked into another shop down the road, and somebody said, did you sell Dan a toolbox? And I said, yeah, why? And he goes, oh, the Snap-on guy is pissed. He'd been trying to sell him a toolbox for 5 years. I never seen him so mad. I want to buy a toolbox from you too. What? I'm not even kidding you. I sold another toolbox because I made that sale from a completely different shop way away. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Because the Snap-on guy was very high pressure, which he's a great salesman. Like I said, he's a great salesman. There's no doubt about it. And trust me, I would have loved to stay in it to be up competition against him, but things happen. We'll get to that later on. But man, that just started a chain reaction. And from there on out, I think I sold probably 5 or 6 more toolboxes that year. And I got paid cash for most of them, keep in mind. So I was super motivated. Now I was like, holy shit, I'm selling toolboxes? Like, get out of here. Now, keep in mind, I started to learn then that toolboxes weren't exactly where all your money was made. Selling tools, and we'll get into that in the next video. I'll tell you some of the things that I did that I found out that were just so much nicer to do to help keep cash flow going and just making a better business deal with tool truck stuff. But oh man, that first year was definitely one of my funnest years. And then we'll get into going into tool fair, which is like it's like your Super Bowl. If you're a tool dealer, you want to go to your tool fair because it's the Super Bowl. You get to see what you've done for the year, and they judge, everybody talks, and they're like, oh man, this guy did this, wow, blah blah blah. Anyways, so yeah, that's my part 2 of my Mac tool stuff, and you guys loved the first one so much, so definitely keep it going. I'm not looking to get a ton of views. You guys overachieved on the last one, but we'll continue this every Sunday for a while, and if it starts trickling off, then I'll try to ramp up the ending because now I'm kind of dedicated to it. So, but I appreciate all the comments you guys did, all the likes you did. That definitely was really, you guys were kind about doing that, and I appreciate it. So remember, like, comment, share, subscribe, ring that bell. Remember, keep your hands dirty and your money clean. Thanks for watching.